Hey guys, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and hey, I know it has been a minute since you guys have seen the video from us, but I wanted to give you guys an update. We are, in fact, still doing videos for you guys. Just took a little bit of a hiatus during this off season, just kind of going through things and kind of pre-planning what this year is going to look like for you guys, so that way we can set you up with the best possible way of winning your upcoming season. So yeah, we were a little behind. We weren't able to be part of everything that you guys are obviously hoping for and obviously what we're planning for, but I've got some big stuff going on. We've got a website, podcast, all these great things that are going to happen for 2021 that I'm super excited about. So there was a lot of planning prior to this video that I've been working on, but I did want to start pushing out some videos for you guys so you guys will start planning, because again, it's end of May. We're getting there. OTAs are starting. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to be June, July, and then really into, obviously, the preseason. So I want to start putting out some ranking videos, or let's call it early ranking videos, for you guys. So that way you guys start preparing, doing some mock drafts and things like that. I'll be dropping a video every couple days. Haven't gotten a rhythm yet as far as the early rankings. And then I'll be dropping a website link soon for everybody to be part of that will actually have our rankings on there. It's going to be a movable ranking, right? Everything can change in a moment. There's obviously different things going on still during the off season, and of course injuries, so we want to make sure you guys are prepared for that. So that's going to be an ever-moving ranking, but this is kind of our early ranking for you guys. So this first video is going to be on the quarterback position right now, okay? So quarterbacks, I think, obviously is probably one of the most important positions. And especially if you're in maybe a 2 QB league, or you value the QB a little bit more than, say, some other positions, I want to make sure you guys are getting ready in position for having the best quarterback for you guys, right? So I'm going to give you guys the top 20 QB ranking that I feel is going to be a great way to help give you some success early on in the season. Now, I know a lot of you guys will probably think, well, there's obviously 4 or 5 that were absolutely studs, but going into this offseason and kind of some of the free agency moves, some trades that happened, obviously draft, anything can change, right? So kind of what I want to talk about with you guys is, again, let's get you set up. We want to set you guys up right. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. We got the link down there. We've got all of our socials down below as well: Twitter, Instagram, anything you can think of, Facebook. Make sure you hit and follow those as well. Again, we'd love to have at least 25 to 30 likes in this video, and we want to continue to push out this content, and then soon we'll be dropping that website for you guys. So I'm super excited for it. And then we'll have some merch just before football season starts. We got some good stuff going on. I'm super excited for football. I know it's kind of far away, but it's almost here. And if I'm like you guys, you guys are itching and waiting for it. I know the NBA and NHL and all the playoffs can kind of keep you a little bit grounded, but let's be honest, football is the number one sport. So with that said, let's get into the rankings. So one of the things I want to talk about with the rankings, number one, hey, this was actually really tough for me. The first person I have on my ranking is actually Patrick Mahomes. Boring, I know, I get it. And I almost put Josh Allen on there because Josh Allen did lead, if you look, well, kind of based off of, depending on your point system was, but Josh Allen was number one last year for most leagues. So, and the fact is they also added somebody. So it was really tough, kind of going between Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. But I put Patrick Mahomes just because they've improved that offensive line. And let's be honest, Mahomes is Mahomes. He's his own tier. And then I believe Josh Allen's right behind that. So I actually have Josh Allen as the ranked number 2 quarterback. Look, you have the same receivers you had last year. He was amazing last year. Stephon Diggs did an amazing step for him. Cole Beasley was great. And now you're adding Emmanuel Sanders to that team as well. So the fact that Josh Allen's getting into his 3rd year, he's only getting better. He has that rushing capability like a Patrick Mahomes. He's got the arm to go down the field. And that's a playoff team. So this is a team that I'm super excited about going into this season. So I have Josh Allen there. Now my 3rd ranking quarterback is Kyler Murray. And a lot of what Kyler Murray brings to the table is his rushing ability, right? He's got a good arm. He obviously has the escapability. He can make plays when he needs to scramble out of the pocket, but really the key factor is his ability to outrun linebackers and obviously defensive ends. And again, DeAndre Hopkins helped him a lot. So I like Kyler Murray as the number 3 quarterback for you guys this, again, early offseason ranking. Next I have is Russell Wilson. I have Russell Wilson. Look, he didn't do amazing things last year. At least it didn't seem like it, right? Like you look like, oh, Russell Wilson. But if you actually look at Russell Wilson and his stats, he was the 6th best quarterback last year as far as fantasy goes. The people ahead of him, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, which obviously Watson's a whole other thing. Russell Wilson was up there. You know, he's got 2 stud receivers, and yeah, they can be a little inconsistent, but those guys are awesome on the outside with Tyler Lockett and Metcalf. I still like Russell Wilson a lot this year, so I have him at number 4. Number 5th guy I have is Tom Brady. He finished 8th last year. Tom Brady is only going to improve. It's the second year with an off season. You know, again, remember guys, we didn't have an off season last year, so a lot of what these guys did were kind of starting to really push through. And you saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense really click towards the end of the season, and of course, winning the Super Bowl. That's going to come into this season. I don't have him higher than those guys, but top 5, absolutely. Tom Brady is top 5 this year in fantasy football, and I think honestly, the secret really is going to be Antonio Brown. The fact that he's got a whole offseason, he's cemented into this role, and he's their 3rd option. Like, come on, it's unfair. It's definitely one of the best wide receiver cores without a doubt in the league. So, number 6, I have Aaron Rodgers. Now, again, there's an asterisk behind this. So, Aaron Rodgers, the only reason I have this asterisk, if you guys are following the news, there's a lot going on between him, the GM. I mean, there's just a lot. He loves his team. It's nothing but against the team or the teammates. Actually, I think him and I think 4 or 5 of his receivers, like Devontae Adams, they didn't even show up to OTAs. So this is actually a pretty big deal. I think June 1st is kind of the estimated of like, hey, when things are going to start to calm down, just because it deals with, you know, financials and roster bonuses and things like that. So that's why we have a little bit of a clearer picture. And again, once we get a little bit closer to the season, these rankings could definitely change, but I have Aaron Rodgers number 6 because Aaron Rodgers was amazing. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's still one of the best quarterbacks. You don't want to miss out on him if he's available. As far as number 7 goes, you could call me a homer or whatever you want, but Dak Prescott I have as the number 7 fantasy quarterback. I get he was injured last year, so he didn't really get to show what he's capable of. But if you saw the games that he did play last year, he was awesome. I understand. I get it. They're playing behind, but we're talking fantasy. We're not talking about actual game. Fantasy football, Dak would have finished number 1. He was pacing that way. He was pacing to break all kinds of records as far as yardage and things like that. And he has his offensive line back. So not only is he healthy, at least so far, and that offensive line is healthy because they were in shambles last year, and those receivers, again, Dak Prescott, stud coming into this season. Might make some changes. Might move up. Unless something happens, I don't see him going down. Next guy I have is Lamar Jackson. I have Lamar Jackson, and a lot of people are like, wow, that's a little low for him. I don't think so. I mean, Lamar Jackson finished 10th last year. I think he does improve some. I think his passing is only going to improve a little bit more. They did add, obviously, Sammy Watkins to the team. They also added Rashad Bateman from the draft. So they're adding some weapons with Marquise Brown as well. And they still, of course, have Mark Andrews. So they're adding weapons for him. They're trying to help him really become, I guess you'd say, the better quarterback that he can be. And of course, let's be honest, the escapability and the rushing capability that Lamar Jackson brings makes him a stud quarterback. I just don't have him above the other guys, right? Again, 8th is a great spot. I think he's a good steal. I think you can find him at a good deal. But I like Lamar Jackson at number 8. Number 9, I have Ryan Tannehill. He was awesome last year. Okay, I have him a little bit behind, only because there are some players, obviously, like Dak back and Tom Brady obviously improving. So I do have Tannehill a little behind, but Tannehill did a great job last year. He has that sneaky rushing capability, a couple rushing touchdowns, but he's got a great arm. He's got a great, especially with A.J. Brown out there. And who knows? There's all these rumors of Julio Jones possibly go to Tennessee or maybe the New England Patriots. I mean, yay, if Julio goes there, Tannehill might be a top 5 quarterback. It's hey, I'm just saying, that's the kind of ability I think Tannehill has, especially with that offense. And you still got Derrick Henry behind him. Man. So I have Ryan Tannehill ranked number 9. Number 10, I have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert did great last year. Obviously, I think he's going to only improve being the second year. Sometimes, obviously, there is a slump, right? Sometimes that sophomore slump kind of drops in. You're like, oh, these guys kind of have to deal with tougher defenses. They have a whole offseason the defense gets to scheme around. But I do like Justin Herbert. He's got natural ability. He's a great quarterback. And only things are just going up for him. So I like him at number 10. Number 11, I have Kirk Cousins, kind of the same spot he was last year. The reason why I keep him there is not because of his QB play. He was up and down. He's got 2 great receivers on the outside. Justin Jefferson's a stud. All right, Adam Thielen, you've got some studs there, and I like what they've got there. And their tight end's only going to get better. So I like Kirk Cousins still at number 11. Next, I have Baker Mayfield, a lot higher than he probably deserves. But here's my thing with Baker Mayfield. He's shown drastic improvement, okay? And I have high expectations for him coming into the season. I actually have high expectations for the Browns in general coming into the season. But I like Baker Mayfield because I think he's only going to grow. He's getting OBJ back. And I know some people think that's a bad thing. I don't think it is. I don't think he does try to force things into Odell's hands. I think when you do have a receiver of that caliber, you want to force those things. It's not because he's, trying to please Odell. I don't think Odell cares. I think Odell truly does want to win and he wants to be a good team play. I mean, he's got one of his closest friends, Jarvis Landry. I like that he's back, coming here, and then Baker Mayfield is just only improving. So I like Baker Mayfield. You can clown me all you want in the comments. I like Baker Mayfield a lot coming into the season for fantasy. And Browns just in general, right? I think the Browns are going to be one of those solid teams of the AFC. Number 13, I have Carson Wentz. Here's what I say about Carson Wentz. One of 2 things are going to happen. He's either going to have comeback player of the year. And I know it's kind of weird because obviously comeback player of the year probably will be Dak just because of injury. But I have Carson Wentz because he was in a situation with the Eagles. I think there was a lot going on between head coach and, general managers and all these different things, the front office, and let's be honest, Carson Wentz didn't have any weapons. I mean, name a receiver that you could think of. They just didn't have anything. They had injuries and they just never really put anything around him. Not all Carson Wentz's fault. Did he digress? Sure, he regressed a lot. But I think for him, this is good for him. It's a restart. So either he's going to be amazing this year. He's got obviously T.Y., he's got Campbell, he's got Michael Pittman. He's got some weapons, right? With a good defense behind him. I like Carson Wentz. Now, could he flop? Sure, absolutely. Some of that bad juju or, when you got someone who's just down, sometimes that kind of bleeds into your new team. It just happens. But I think he's in a great position. He's got a great team behind him. He's got a good head coach that's going to help him. I like Carson Wentz a lot, so I have him ranked pretty high. I think he's got good natural QB ability. He is, everyone was talking about how much better he was than Dak, and I liked Carson Wentz. And I hate to say that as a Cowboys fan. I liked Carson Wentz. He scared me as an opposing team, but obviously I still think he's Dak quality. But Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. Don't sit on him. I'll have him at number 13. Number 14, I got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has some weapons. The only thing I have, here's my concerns with Joe Burrow. Injury, how is he? Hopefully he's healthy, right? Obviously we saw him walking, at least the other day he was walking. It's good. But my only other concern is, again, it's talking more slumps, right? These things happen. Teams have a whole off season to kind of get prepared. But what I do like about Joe Burrow, great weapons on the outside. And then you had one of his former teammates, Jamar Chase. Hey, they're loading up that Cincinnati Bengal offense. So I like Joe Burrow a lot, number 14. Number 15, I got Matthew Stafford for the Rams. Weird saying that, right? Oh, so weird. Matthew Stafford is an underrated quarterback his whole career. Now you've got some great weapons, out of LA for the Rams. That's some great stuff. And it's a restart. You think about, anything, when you're in a position and all you've done is lose, it's not entirely Matthew Stafford's fault. It kind of eats at you. It affects your game. And he's one of the toughest quarterbacks you'll ever see. I mean, I've seen this guy play through some things, and I like the weapons that he does have in LA. And I like that he's going to have an offensive-minded coach that is just focused on helping and improving him and helping that team get back into, playoff glory. I like Matthew Stafford a lot, number 15. Number 16, I have Cam Newton. You can come at me all you want. Cam Newton's going to his second year with Bill Belichick. That matters, okay? There was a lot of weird stuff going on with Cam Newton last year. 2, they do have an improvement offensive line. And number 3, they finally added weapons. Again, same situation when you think about Carson Wentz. There were very few weapons for Cam Newton. Julian Edelman was hurt. You couldn't name a a receiver that existed for New England, a tight end, nothing. So they ended up signing Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. They got Nelson Aguilar. They added some weapons for Cam Newton, okay? I know it's not a thing that's normal for the New England Patriots, but they needed to add something for him. And I like that move a lot. And Cam Newton didn't do horribly. He was number 16 last year. I kind of kept him around the same just because I think of, again, other quarterbacks that are improved. I like him a lot. Next, I have Matt Ryan. Now, this, again, is another one like Aaron Rodgers. There's an asterisk behind it. Everything that's going on with Julio Jones pretty much is a almost 100% guarantee Julio will be traded somewhere. Okay, we just don't know where yet. He's said he's out of there. And that affects Matt Ryan a lot. Matt Ryan still has their new tight end from Florida, Kyle Pitts. You got, again, Calvin Ridley. If Julio were to stay, which I doubt, look at those weapons. That's just crazy. That they've got, and Matt Ryan's a great quarterback. So I still like Matt Ryan. I got him at number 17. Number 18, I got Jared Goff. Yeah, he does. He's lost weapons that he had in LA. Again, I think of some of the rest of the quarterbacks that are left. I like Jared Goff just as far as a standpoint of he has something to prove. And that matters to me, and it matters to most players. If you have something to prove, that's just going to make a big difference for you. So, again, I'm going to get chewed out for this, but I still have Jared Goff in the top 20. I have number 18. Number 19, I have Jameis Winston for the Saints. He's going to be the quarterback. I know there's Taysom Hill there. Jameis is going to be the quarterback. Now, if that changes, obviously we'll make the adjustments in our rankings, but I think Jameis is the better option at quarterback, not Taysom Hill. And Jameis behind Drew Brees, I think, is actually going to change his, instead of his 30 interceptions, I think that will help lower down, mid-teens maybe. Still pretty high, but I think for him that's a huge improvement. And he's still got some weapons. He's got a good arm. It's only going to help Michael Thomas a lot because Michael Thomas did not play well when it was Taysom Hill. So I like Jameis Winston. I think he's going to be the starting quarterback. I think it's going to be what they've been talking about. I have him at number 19. And then number 20, I'm sorry, but I have Deshaun Watson at number 20. This will change some depending on what's going to happen with this whole thing. So there's a lot of, obviously, legal action. So a lot of people are kind of nervous. Possibility of Texans, trading for him. I don't see that happening, but there's a possibility. And then, of course, he has no weapons. His only weapon really left was Will Fuller, and he's gone. He went to Miami. So they just stripped Deshaun of everything as far as any offensive weapons go. So that, again, affects stats. I mean, yeah, Deshaun Watson was number 5 last year, but he had Will Fuller, who did really well. Deshaun was able to throw. The offensive line improved. But there's a lot of stuff going on over his head. So I have him ranked at number 20 just because I still think he deserves to be ranked because he has that type of ability. But the fact that your weapons are gone, and then, of course, this whole legal issue that's kind of this cloud over his head right now of uncertainty. Is he going to get traded? Is he going to get suspended? I don't trust him enough to put him anywhere higher than number 20 right now. So I have him number 20. I know there's going to be some names out there that I didn't mention. And, of course, not to say you can't draft them, but I just want to kind of give you guys my top 20 quarterbacks for this upcoming season. Obviously, let me know down below in the comments if you feel, hey, why didn't you talk about this guy? What about this guy? Here's my reasons, blah, blah, blah. I'm all for it. I'm all about it. I want you guys to let me know who you also think as well. But again, these are my top 20 ranking. I think, again, getting these guys in your roster, at least one of these guys, will help set you up right for this 2021 season. Again, let me know in the comments if you're feeling differently or if you feel there should be other changes or maybe someone should move up or down. This is going to be a changeable thing. It's going to change the closer we get to the season. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for being part of this awesome Average Joe's community. And I'm super pumped that football season is going to be starting. We're going into the OTAs, going into minicamp. I'm excited. So again, make sure you guys check out our next video, which will be the running back position. Again, hit that subscribe. Hit us on the socials. Follow us. And I'll check you out next time.